Hello, everyone. I'm back with my part two of how Mercury is going to affect the zodiacs differently. So, starting with Aries, before I start with the zodiacs, I need you to understand Mercury is all about your communication, about your mind, about your intellect, and how you can actually put that mind to work. So it's a very important aspect of yourself. It's Mercury actually tells you, it connects you with the world, it connects you with the people. So it's all about connections in whichever form. So how it's this Mercury direct is going to affect different zodiacs. Let's starting with Aries. There's been a lot of drama in your relationships during this retrograde. But now that Mercury is moving in the right direction again, the miscommunications and misunderstandings you've been struggling with will finally disappear. This might be because you and your relationships have learned their lessons of how to communicate more clearly. So if you still feel like exiting from a certain relationship, then give it a clean ending by communicating your thoughts in a calm and serene manner. For those who are single, there's a major emphasis on the other people in your life. As much as you would be in the mood to be alone, to fly solo, some part of you is also looking to unite with those who make you feel secure. So, intense conversations can bring uncomfortable emotions to the surface, especially when someone brings up a repeated behavior of yours. Don't unnecessarily take it as a critique. Probably you could also take it as this way, that this is a part of you that needs a little bit of change. So, take criticisms constructively. What is the goal of the battle within the war of the relationship that you're in? This is exactly what you need to work upon. Keep in mind that when you address any people who are actually just you're wanting the best for you, and if they tend to tell you something that is maybe critical, without taking offense, just ponder over it. If you feel you want to change, I think that would be in your benefit. But if you still feel that you don't want to change, again give it a thought. Maybe that's an ego that is wanting to rebel. So work on this. There may be news of a revised contract or a promotion. Give yourself a few days, if possible, to review before you sign. So wait for the Mars going direct on the 14th. And after that, you could probably make your commitments. So now for Taurus, miscommunications, especially at work, have been beyond stressful lately. Missed texts, unread mails, forgotten phone calls, etc. And they've all been these huge themes. But now that Mercury is gone direct, you can get back on the top of your schedule. Mercury retrograde was so chaotic because it wanted to show you the sectors of your life where you were not organized. So now is the time to get organized and set healthy, productive habits in your day to day routine. So once Mercury zooms back into Scorpio on November 10th, you'll be able to focus solely on your relationships, especially the personal ones. So it's time to get organized at work and get it out of your way. If you fell off your wellness routine, then you could find yourself getting back on track. So these days, the more you can stay on the top of your health, the better it is for you. Consider redoing your work environment to make it more aesthetically pleasing. So, what kind of relationship, if any, do you want to have with your workspace? If you've been feeling out of sorts, take some deep breaths and get grounded. Declutter your surroundings. Be clutter free, physically and mentally. And now for you, Geminis, the first chunk of the retrograde made work life pretty chaotic for you as balancing personal and professional life became difficult. Now you can be more focused on your love life. You can anticipate things getting much better for you. This Mercury retrograde was bad. It was a bad period, no matter where it is in your chart. But now that Mercury is moving towards the correct direction, it's sending good vibes to your chart's fifth house, which governs romance, sex, and fun. Once you get over this last retrograde, speed bump, tons of new connections will come your way and life spices up again. So, as your ruler Mercury stations direct this week, you will begin to feel less restricted in your thought process and more socially connected. So, be in the mood to have more conversations and share your ideas, especially with those that you care about. This is an extremely romantic set of days and weeks for you. Get back in touch with the fun and pleasure side of your life. Your idea of fun may have changed, and it is your responsibility to rediscover the source of your smile. Evolution comes through the acceptance that you have to own and wield your power. So now for Cancer, appliances have been breaking down. Your family has been extra annoying or irritating. Friends have not been in the best of moods either, all thanks to Mercury retrograde. But now that the retrograde has cleared up, you will be able to start picking up the pieces and making life at home run smoothly and efficiently again, including your workplace. So now is the time to talk it out and make up with your mates if you've been arguing, either with your parents, mates, siblings, whatever. You need to forget about the drama and learn to move on. Navigating the needs of home life, your parents, and your own self should be your agenda in the coming weeks. You may find that you are in contact with your parental figures or people that played a large role in your upbringing. What is required to bring harmony or balance to your home life? Give it a thought. What do you believe about family? So this is the time to work on any foundational issues that have been plagued you. A creative outlet can help you apply professional skills in a new way. Let go of what you think you know about your talent. Become the person you want to be. Separate your mind from the inner core. Leo. Now, since this Mercury retrograde has been affecting your chart's zone of communication, so connecting with others would have been a big challenge. Now, this retrograde should have taught you by now the importance of thinking before you speak. Being a little more thoughtful with your words will finally make sense, and the results will be obvious for you to see. People will love connecting with you again, and you will enjoy the company of existing friends while also making and connecting with new ones. Things are only looking better and bright from here. Increasing your focus and concentration will be of paramount importance. Be sure to thoroughly review any contracts awaiting your signature. If you felt like you were unable to bring your ideas a full circle, now that Mercury is spinning direct, this will help you tremendously. Make efforts to connect with people who really matter in your life and are important to you. Don't forget what your neighborhood has to offer you in by the way of stimulation. Make space for grace and forgiveness when it comes to a parent or a friend from childhood. Virgo, the past week or so has been particularly difficult for you, especially in regards to your financial situation. You've been overspending, undersaving, and realizing that you've forgotten what was important to pay off, etc. But after this pinch on the wrist from the stars, you will feel that you've really understood the value of money now. So start setting better spending habits, and you'll be able to transform yourself quickly, bouncing back. As your ruler Mercury has gone direct, it helps you to release the hold on your finances and sense of ownership. How do you feel about your earnings and the way in which they are achieved? Is it time to add more streams of income to your repertoire? Take steps to get organized and becoming aware of your true spending power. An awkward conversation with someone can help you get information which you can apply to better your life. Put your inner thoughts on paper. Maintain your personal journal of bettering your life. Libra. Although most of this past retrograde spent a lot of time in Scorpio, for the past couple of days it's been in Libra. Now, this has been particularly stressful for all of you, especially for those born between October 16th and October 21st. Communicating, which includes both the speaking and listenings, haven't been easy for you. There could have been technical glitches, and the travel delays would have been nightmarish. But the retrograde ending signifies that these issues will also come to an end soon. Your communication skills will improve as you're listening just as much as you're speaking. So, listening and speaking in turns will do you a lot of good. These personal changes will help you at work, with your family, with your colleagues, and with everybody in general. It's still quietly about you as Mercury moves direct and Venus still luxuriates in your sign. Notice how you're feeling about yourself and the way you inhabit your body. Are there any style changes that you've been considering? Because this is the time to investigate your aesthetic and how you want to express yourself moving forward. Pay close attention to your health and vitality, as every social butterfly needs to refuel before they flutter to the next virtual function. A friend could recommend you for a great opportunity. Make a room for what your heart has to say. Get an overhaul to your personality, and you'll just start enjoying life. Scorpio. Well, Mercury retrograde in your sign was wild, but when it moved into Libra work or so ago, it actually mellowed down and life slowed way, way down. Though you've been experiencing drama in your personal relationships or old friends, now things will become better. Now, whether you realize it or not, a lot of mudslinging has been happening behind the scenes. The end of this retrograde suggests that you need to acknowledge the drama and try solving it once and for all. This week may feel like an emotional dam which cracks open as Mercury goes direct. The things that have been tucked under the surface, locked in the wall, and put behind the laser beams are emerging in order to help with your healing. Realize where the limitations have been imposed or delusions on your relationships. This is where you will begin to do the work of redefining what's been hidden from you, especially by your own self. Meditation and exercise can help draw out whatever insights you seek. It won't feel comfortable at all, but in fact will provide you with the cleansing that you very much need now. Sagittarius, well, Mercury retrograde has been exposing several inconvenient truths about your teammates, and you may find that some of your friends really don't belong in your life anymore. Accept that. Not every friendship lasts forever, and the end of this retrograde, it'll be super easy for you to move on. I'm not saying that you should cut people off over minor transgressions, but this is a time for you to look at your friend group, assess how healthy your friendships actually are, and make a plan to give your mates the indication it needs. This might mean cutting people off or distancing yourself from others, but for each friend you lose, you open up space for another better one. Your goals and your network will be getting a revamp this week, thanks to the new connections and conversations you've been having or introduced to. Joining a group that values your voice and perspective will do you a world of good. Find a new space to express how legendary you can be. This year has been a rough one for the optimists and could have you questioning what is required or necessary for society to move forward. So, the beauty of answering this inquiry is that you don't have to do it alone. As long as you can remember that you're not alone, you will make it through this time, and the rest of your life is bound to witness the happiness that you so desire. So, the key word here is doing things collectively. For Capricorn, this has been a critical period in your development, especially in regarding your professional life. Normally, Mercury in Libra is a time where big messages, promotions, raises, or bonuses find their way to you. And maybe they have been. But every opportunity or offer you've been presented simply hasn't worked out smoothly. That was all because of the retrograde. But now that the Mercury is spinning direct and the retrograde period is over, you'll be finally able to hear back from the people that you so much want to hear. And you will feel acknowledged for how much you've been working hard, and you will receive your well deserved rewards. So, finding harmony between the authority and that of the world is important this week. Get in tune into what the masses have to say about you. Do you like what you're hearing? If not, the next several weeks will permit you and give you a chance to change that by making genuine, purposeful connections. Be on the lookout for more money making opportunities and people who just want to help you. Also, get into your space and connect with your inner core. Question yourself, what do you want to do with all of this popularity? A secret wish shared with a loved one could lead to something that could simply change your life. Aquarius, although this retrograde hasn't impacted your relationships much, it's still being a big struggle for your sign. So, travel delays, missed appointments, and scheduling mishaps, especially if any of these are related to education, have been bad lately. But rest assured, now things will improve, especially when the retrograde is finally over. Known, life isn't magically going to clear up. Instead, you will finally learn the importance of double checking your schedule, being prompt, and working hard to show up on time. As a result, your life will run smoothly. Your sense of devotion to relationships and spiritualism and its effect on your work comes actually to limelight this week. If you've been feeling mentally stuck and unable to plan, this is when the smoke begins to clear. Keep working behind the scenes and don't be afraid to get a little vulnerable through your creativity. Follow the urge to take your learnings to another level via the digital media, the YouTube, virtual classes, or formal schooling. Well, that's the call of the hour. Release any fear or anxiety of what people around would say or whether you will be able to make that impact. Pretty soon, the world won't be able to take their eyes off you. So be ready and get cracking. Pisces. This was an emotional retrograde even for you, Pisces. You and your mate probably haven't been connecting on a deep level like you used to. Life in the bedroom lost that spark, or maybe even started to feel awkward and uncomfortable. But now that you have awakened to the fact that things aren't just like they used to be, doesn't mean that they are not good anymore. People change, they evolve. And what you and your partner desire in a relationship may not be the same now as when you had first paired up. And that's okay. So during the retrograde, you might have figured out if your relationship is worth working on despite your differences. So now is the time to act. If you think a breakup is the best move, go for it. But if you want to stay together, this is your opportunity to start, open up, evolve, and connect deeply once again. And the vibe will revive. After last week's full moon, you could be reeling from the insights you received about your ancestors or your parents or your spiritual connections. So, what have you learned from that loss? A book will not teach you. You have to feel it. What you're learning about intimacy, what are the specific things or experiences you want to share with your partner, friend, or mate? You won't have all these answers this week, but you can start considering by delving and getting in touch with your inner core. A clash with an authority figure may signal the need to recalibrate your groups to support your goals and your legacy efforts. And things will, just like a puzzle, fall into place. Now is the time for everyone to make their natal charts because the Mercury is turned direct. That means your mind is activated. Uranus, which is your superconscious or the superconscious of the Mercury, also needs to be understood. Mars is going to turn direct, so you need to take your actions. So, understanding what is your inner core, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and accepting things, and yet having the confidence that you can change the circumstances to your way of thoughts. It's imperative to get your natal charts made so that you better understand yourself, and the execution would be much faster and the results for you to see. So, till then, stay blessed and stay safe.